Hey guys, get ready with me and do this soft glam look as a millennial. Yes, I said a millennial. If you want to know how I achieved this soft glam look, keep watching. We're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna be using a concealer that is close to my skin tone. I like to do this when I'm doing a no eyeshadow look because it looks more seamless and more natural. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other eye. You want to make sure that it is seamless because remember we're using no shadow. Now I'm going to be using a setting powder to make sure that my lids are completely set. I'm also going to be using that powder to set under my brow bone as well. And of course what we do on one side we do on the other, so I'm going to be doing the same exact thing on this eye. This step is optional. I'm just going to be taking my bronzer and I'm going to be making sure that my lids are seamless. You can use eyeshadow for this step as well. I'm going to be taking this eyeliner pen from LA Girl and it's so simple and easy to create a wing. So if you're having problems doing a wing, leave the liquid liner behind and just get you an eyeliner pen. It does the work for you. Trust me. And of course we're going to create a wing on this side as well, but you see how easy it is with the pen? Get you an eyeliner pen, you will not regret it. And I wanted to keep this in real time just to show you how easy it is with the eyeliner pen. Now it's time for foundation, so I'm just prepping my skin with the Embryolisse Moisturizing Primer. Because it doesn't matter if you're doing a full glam or a soft glam, you want to make sure that your foundation lasts all day. And of course, you know, my foundation, I always have to make sure that I tweak it a little bit. This is a foundation from, I believe, Black Opal in the color Nutmeg. And then I'm going to have to basically mix in a little bit of, I believe it's Heavenly Honey, just to make sure it matches my tone because I'm very neutral. And I'm going to make sure that that is all blended in. I'm going to be taking Cashew under my eyes. I love creams for under my eyes because it's less creasing. And, you know, your under eyes are very delicate and creams are just more moisturizing than the straight liquid concealer. So I'm going to highlight all my normal areas under the eyes, the bridge of the nose, my chin. I'm going to be using Beautiful Bronze from Black Opal and I'm going to just chisel out where I want my contoured areas to be. I do prefer creams over liquids just because it just lays better and blends better on the skin. So I'm just going to continue to place my products where I want them to be. After my contour is placed where I need it to be, I'm going to take my foundation brush and I'm just going to blend out my contour. I'm also going to blend out around my forehead. I didn't want too much makeup on my forehead because of my pixie cut. So I'm just going to try to work around it. But just make sure when you're blending, take your time. I'm going to take that cream highlight and I'm going to highlight in the middle of my forehead and down the bridge of the nose just to accentuate because we did contour around my forehead. So I just want to make sure we have an even blend. And to make sure I have an even blend, I use a handheld mirror and also a mirror on my desk just to give me a different view. So you can see me checking the mirror and checking my handheld mirror just to make sure everything looks good because we're going to set. You don't want to set any problems. I'm going to take my highlighting concealer and I'm going to go right up under my lower lash line just to make sure that I have enough coverage under there. I'm going to take my powder puff and make sure I'm blending out my cream concealer. Cream concealer can be a little tricky to blend out only because it's a little thicker. So that's why I apply it to my face and let it warm up to my body temperature. Once you do that, you can blend it out seamlessly. So you just want to make sure that you're giving the product enough time to warm up. And once you go in with the powder puff, it should be an easy dream to blend. I'm going in with another round of concealer, this time liquid. I'm taking almond right up under my eyes, and I'm also going to be using sand concealer from Too Faced. And I love to double highlight. That's just something I do. I love to layer my creams and then liquids on top. It just gives you a seamless blend. So yeah. And of course, double highlighting is optional. So I'm going to use a powder puff that I use to blend out the cream concealer to blend out my sand. Sand is the darker concealer. I don't blend out the highlighting concealer until everything else is blended in, because I like my brighter concealer just to sit a little bit more. So once I blend out my sand, I'm going to go in and make sure that my contour is solidified and blended into the sand, and then we'll go in under the eyes and blend out the brighter concealer. Now that the brighter concealer had time to sit, I'm just going to take the same powder puff and we're going to blend it in and make sure everything looks seamless. While I was blending, I noticed that under my liner didn't have enough concealer, so I'm going to take a brush and just tap in some extra concealer right under there and make sure that the liner is sharp and precise. And I do a lot of blending, so I'm going to go in with another round of blending just to make sure that everything looks good, because the next step is for me to set. I feel like a natural glam, I blend way more, but I blend a lot anyway, but I blend extra when it comes to a natural glam. So I always set my under eyes first because they're very crucial and very important. So I'm just going to take some setting powder and I'm just going to press it into the skin. I'm going to set first and then I'm going to bake. It may look like I'm baking, but in all honesty, I'm going to go back in and see I'm just pressing that powder in, because you want to make sure that it's locked in before you bake. I just like to set before I bake. Setting is just gonna make sure that the powder is evenly distributed in those sections. So you just don't wanna go in with a bunch of powder and just slap it on your face and go, because some places will be set more than others. So that's why I like to push in my powder first, which is setting, just to ensure that everything is even. Now I'm going in with a little bit more setting powder, so you can say now I am baking since I already set that area. I'm gonna also set my contour. I love to set my contoured areas with my setting powder because it gives you a flawless finish. Sometimes when you go in straight with your bronzer or your contour color right on top of cream, it can become muddy. So I just like to do this, and then I'll go in with my bronzer and everything is just seamless and smooth. So as you can see, I'm just setting around my forehead, and I'm just going to set my contour around my jawline and just make sure everything is set. And then I'm gonna go in with my bronzer that I used on my eyes just to lock in and bring some more color back. So now I'm taking that bronzer that I used on my eyes from earlier, and we're just going to chisel out the face. And this is my favorite part. I love highlighting and contouring, like I told you guys. And yeah, just watch me chisel out the forehead and the nose and the chin and, you know, all that good stuff. Whew, I just love me a contour, baby. I wanted to keep this video in real time because in all honesty, when it comes to me contouring, I'm taking a little bit of powder at a time and I'm just placing it in the spots where I want it. I'm not going in with a whole bunch of powder. That's why you'll see me going over the same area 2 and 3 times, because I'm using a little bit of product. Now I'm going in with my Fenty Pro Filter powder, and I'm just going to knock off my bake. I love the MAC Studio Fix powder better. It's more coverage, but since we're going for a soft glam, I decided to go for a soft filter powder. So I'm just going to take that on a brush, and I'm just going to go over all of my highlighted areas and knock off the bake, like I said. And if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to like the video. And also comment down below some of your favorite face powders. I'm definitely on a hunt for a new one, even though my MAC Studio Fix powder will forever have me in a chokehold. Now I'm going to take my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in dark, and I'm just going to go over everything, all over my highlight, all over the contour, all over everything, just to make sure everything is seamless and blended. I'm gonna take this eyeliner pencil from LA Girl, and it's so smooth and creamy. I'm gonna take that and I'm going to blend it out with this brush. I'm gonna also take my bronzer and set that liner just to give me a little smoky glam effect. Even though this is a soft look, I wanted to have a little, you know, spice on the bottom of the eyes. I'm going to take that Fenty powder and just make sure that I don't have any fallout, and make sure that my under eye is still smooth and good to go. I'm going to take this eyeliner pen and make sure that I'm touching up my liner, because we did use powders and sometimes the powder can dull the liner. And with this, I never try to create anything. I just try to follow what I already had. Now it's time to apply my setting sprays. My Charlotte Tilbury will make sure that all the powders I use is melted, and my Krylon fixing spray will make sure that my makeup lasts all day. Now it's time to apply my lashes. I just love me a good pair of lashes. If you love lashes like I do, comment down below. And I always make sure that my lashes are pushed into place, because there's nothing like a lash that feels like it's about to come off. Now we're moving on to the lips. I'm taking this NYX lip liner in the color dark brown. I overlined my lips in this video, but I don't even think you can tell because I do have full lips anyway. After my liner is applied, I'm going to take my foundation brush and just clean up around my mouth. I usually use concealer for this step, but I decided to use my foundation instead. Now I'm going to be taking my face powder brush and I'm just going to set around my mouth. I'm going to take the setting powder and just brighten up around my mouth as well. While that setting powder is baking around my mouth, I'm going to make sure that I reline just to make sure that my liner is defined. I'm going to take this Powder Kiss lipstick by MAC in the color Impressive, and it was not impressive because I kept applying and applying and applying. So then I decided to apply Sis lipstick from MAC, and this wasn't doing it for me either. And Sis is one of my go-to nudes from MAC, so I was very confused, but I just was trying to make it work and it literally was not layering. So I decided to use some concealer on my lips just to brighten it up a bit. And as you can see here, I'm applying the concealer And I'm just going to go in with some liner and some gloss just to try to make it work, since I didn't want to change it and I was going out right after I finished my makeup. So I applied more liner just to make sure that the concealer would blend in. And the gloss I ended up using was from MAC, and it's in the color See-Through. And I always go back with liner just to make sure everything is blended and cohesive. And I decided to add a little bit more bronzer. Since the lip was super nude, I had to add a little bit more warmth to my skin, which wasn't a problem. And this was the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.
You should just know, babe. You should just know. I've been thinking about it, praying for the week.